Feathering is back on the menu. In version 2.0.1 of my Smart Telescope script, I removed feathering due to several issues, and since then, about 50 of you have commented on YouTube, on Facebook, on Discord, on Patreon, and some by email sharing your disappointment. And I just want to say that I heard you, and the feathering option is now back with a pretty big warning. So once you check the box, you'll see a message on the bottom that says feathering can cause slow processing and it can cause memory issues, and that it will not be supported. But realistically, I want to help everyone get the best out of their astronomy and astrophotography hobby. So if you do reach out, I will help you. So I'm just going to say that it'll have minimal support. So if you do use feathering and you get an error, I would highly recommend checking it off and then trying again to see if the other error still happens, just to rule out feathering as an issue. I know quite a few people use these scripts, and I tend to hear more from people who have issues and need help, and not enough from people who actually use it successfully. So if you do use this script or any of my scripts successfully, I would love to hear from you, because it does add a little bit of encouragement to the work that I do. So drop a like and a comment below, or join me on Discord and hang out. And before we get to the demo, I just want to thank all of my supporters on Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, and YouTube for all of their support. You are all amazing, and if you'd like to join them in supporting me, check out the links below. And a few of my patrons were a huge reason why feathering came back so soon after it was gone. Let's quickly get through the demo, but first, let's quickly learn how you can best ask for help with these scripts. First, to ask for help, the best thing you can do, aside from screenshots are also amazing, is download the logs. And the way to do that is under your console on the right hand side, there's a download button here. It says export the log file. When you click on this, it'll give you a pop-up where you can export a .log file. Save it anywhere. You can keep the timestamp and send it to me. And the best place to do that is on Discord. So the invite link to this Discord server is in the description below. Please click on it and join if you'd like to. And then on the left-hand side, under Community, there is a new board called Siril Script Support. You click on that, you click on New Post. You tell me whether you need help or you have a feature request. You put in the title. In the title, it'd be really helpful if you can put in which script you're using, since I do have multiples. And there is a template here that you can use to follow. It asks you what I'm looking for and how to download your log files, etc. And create a new thread and put it there, and I will be more than happy to take a look. You can also browse through all of the other support requests that others have submitted, since this whole board went live about a month ago, and it's been going really well, and I've been able to help every single person who has submitted a request here. So that's the best way to do it. You can also reach out on social media and on Patreon and on Buy Me a Coffee. Quickly going through a demo. If you have the script installed already through Get Scripts, you don't have to do anything, it'll update for you automatically. But if you don't, you go to Scripts, Get Scripts, and search for Nastronomy, and it will be the first one here, the Smart Telescope pp.py. Check that box, click apply, and Siril will automatically download the script for you. And you'll find it under Scripts, Python Scripts, Pre-processing, and Astronomy Smart Telescope pp. Once you start it, this is what the UI looks like. The UI hasn't changed much since version 2.0.1, except, as many of you will be happy to see, is that feathering is back. Thanks to the Siril desk for talking through it with me and allowing me to put this back. The biggest thing to know is that once you check this box, you get a warning here. It says you enabled feather. This can cause slow processing and memory issues. If you get an error, turn it off and try again. Support will not be provided for feather-related issues. Realistically, I will still provide you with some help if you do submit a request, but just to know that if you do have feather checked and you get an error, turn it off and try again. And this just squished the UI a little bit. I should fix that in the next patch, but you can expand it and get those check boxes back. And I'm going to run this on my Siril Seestar Mosaic script or data here, which is of M31, which you've seen plenty of times. It is a Mosaic, and it is using Seestar S30. I don't have any calibration frames. I'll do cleanup files, and it does report how many lights files I have in there. So I have 247. I'm going to do max files per batch of 100 actually. So it'll actually split this into 3 batches, 100, 147. I'll do background extraction. I'll do a small drizzle of 1x and pixel fraction of 1. Once again, the higher the drizzle amount, the longer the processing will take. And there's still a little bit of a bug here where if you do background extraction and drizzle at the same time, Siril can create black frames and normalization fails. So if you get an error and you have drizzle checked, check your logs to see if it says normalization failed. If you see the word normalization failed anywhere in the logs, turn off drizzle and try again, or you can come down here and click black frames bug and run it again. This will drastically increase the processing time, and that's because the script is going to go through each of those frames, check for black frames, and then remove those from the processing to get rid of the error. And before I click on run or save and load presets, I just want to make sure that I mention that, again, you need local Gaia in order for mosaics to work. If you don't have local Gaia installed, then it'll crop down to a reference frame and do a global star alignment, so mosaics will not work. So you'll see a message that says unavailable. And this is the astrometric Gaia. If you want to do SPCC or photometric Gaia, you need the photometric data as well, and that's for the SPCC here, which I haven't done much with the script at all lately, actually. And the only 5 supported telescopes are now these. In the last version, I was able to handle any scope where it would, crop down to the reference frame if it wasn't one of these. Unfortunately, I had to get rid of a little bit of code because I was getting false errors with failed plate solving, so I had to get rid of it. So now these are the only 5 supported telescopes. If you have any other telescope that you want to do, check out my OSC script instead, which looks like this, and you can add in your sessions here and let that process. But we're sticking with the Smart Telescope Preprocessing script here. I'm going to click on Save Presets, even though I don't really need to. And everything else is basically the same. There's some button colors as well. And since I only have 247 frames, I'm not even going to worry about filtering. But once I get into the thousands of frames, I'll bring the roundness and the FWHM down to like 95% or something. And you can use this as you please. So if you check this and you don't select anything other than 100% in any of these, it's the same as unchecking it. It's going to have really no effect. So just something to keep in mind. And now I'm going to click on run, and it should be fairly quick. So it gives me a warning that says old processing directory is found. It's because it found a process directory. And I'm just going to click on yes, because I want that to be gone. And I'll let it go. And you can see in the logs it says 247 files found, and putting them into 3 batches. So I'm going to let this go, and we'll check back in a second. All right, that finished at 22:01, and I think it started at 21:58. So it took about 3 minutes. Not bad at all, less than 3 minutes actually. And if I auto stretch this, so this is what my mosaic looks like. Looks pretty good, with the feathering. All the edges look pretty good too. Again, if you're drizzling, the more drizzle factor you use, the higher drizzle factor you use, the more noise will be exacerbated and the longer this will take. But this is 3 minutes. It's a pretty new computer and it's pretty high powered, 64 gigs of RAM and 24 threads of CPU. So if you need help or have any questions, please reach out in any of the platforms that I use. The easiest way, again, is Discord. If you go back to the beginning of the video, there is a section where I show you how to best ask for help. If you missed that, go check that part out. And of course, you can always reach out to me in the comment section below on Facebook and on Patreon, and buy me a coffee as well. And if you find a bug in these scripts that need fixing, or if you have suggestions for improvements, or maybe you have an idea for a new script, I would love to hear from you. It could be a new script or even a new video idea for the future. I would love to get your suggestions. I know I'm about a week late on this video since version 2.0.2 was released last week officially through Siril, but life has been a little bit hectic. Juggling a full-time job, a family with a toddler, among other things, takes away from working on these scripts and my videos. And I work in higher ed, and my time tend to be busier at the start and the end of the term, so which is like December, January, July, or May and September and August, basically. I'm heading into the holiday season. I'm hoping to complete a couple more videos before the end of the year, and I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't yet and join me for those adventures. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out, and until next time, clear skies.